Welcome to Middle Fingers Up, the show where we hold our heads high and our middle fingers higher. I'm your host, Kieran McKay. Today I'm especially excited because we are taping episode 1 of the Middle Fingers Up podcast. And I am especially excited because I have my fantastic brother Cam and his wonderful wife, Naina, my sister-in-law, here with me. Thank you, you two, for being my guinea pigs and taping my first episode with me.
Hi guys, you're welcome.
Oh my god, Cal.
Did you almost forget my name? Because there was a pause before you said Nana.
No, I did have a pause, but no, maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe I did.
Maybe you zoned out mid-sentence. That's fine.
Maybe I wanted to put something else in there. I don't know. Good catch. Naina. How's it going, Naina?
I'm good. How are you guys?
That's what I called her when I first spoke to her.
Yeah, this whitewashed. Garambal Singh Randhawa.
Never seen Nana before, but after I met her, then I've seen a lot of Nanas.
But like honestly, Nana, I also have never met a Nana before, and when I saw the spelling
other
of your
than
name,
my grandma, sorry.
Right, but when I saw the spelling of your name too, I thought it would be A. So sorry. I mean, you know,
Naina.
Yeah, Naina.
Well, glad we cleared that up, guys.
Yeah. Why'd you bring that up on air, man?
Seemed like a good opportunity.
Yep. Well, so I wonder if this is a good place to, those listening. I really like to start a little segment every time we are taping an episode. I'd love to add, what can we put our middle fingers up to this week? Mm-hmm. Something to sort of just like take off of our chest, and totally willing to reserve my middle fingers up spot for anyone listening that wants to send me a message and let me know what's been on your mind. And I will gladly, if it's appropriate enough, I will gladly share that on our next episode or whenever. So I'm wondering if we can try this out, guys. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I want to know what if there's anything that's happened this week or anything that's been on your mind lately. It could be anything, something that you would like to put your middle finger up to.
Interesting. Ladies first, Nana, do you want to go
Sure.
first? Or?
Anyone living in Calgary where this filming or this recording session is happening.
I have some private cameras up here.
Oh God. Anyways, we had a recent snowfall. So I'm putting my middle fingers up this week to people that forget every year that we get snow in the city and forget how to drive in that snow in the city. Mm-hmm. So brutal. It was a pretty bad week for us in our little Honda, but we made it.
Well, it's like a lot of these people that you're talking about think they're immortal and nothing bad's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I just don't have that kind of confidence on that road. Yeah. So sorry, but I'll get there safely. Mm-hmm. So I hear you. That's a good one.
Thank you, Cam. What about you, Cam?
Okay, my turn. Yeah, you kind of put me on the spot here, Karen, because I got to think of something. I don't like to think, but here we go. I think what I'm going to put my middle fingers up to, or flip the bird off to, it's probably the first thing that comes to mind is the massive yellow school bus that's been parked in front of our house for the past 3-4 months. What is it now? It feels like it's since we fucking
school's been in since September.
It feels like since we moved in. We moved into a house about a year and a half ago, and it feels like that there's been this big yellow school bus parked in front of our house forever. And even on the weekends, I don't know if this guy owns this bus or something, but on the weekends, I look out my window because I want to drink my coffee and look at the beautiful trees we have out front, but all I see is this yellow fucking school bus, parked right outside. So middle fingers up to that, and I never see that guy. I don't know what the fuck.
I saw him once. He was a pretty nice guy.
won't you marry him then?
Here we go. Yeah. So thanks, Cam. Like, I feel like you have a lot more you would like to share about that, and maybe we can find our way back to that in a little bit, unpack that later. Mm-hmm. But I'd also like to share what I want to put my middle finger up to.
Of course,
so,
yes.
Please
go ahead.
Well, I want to put my middle finger up to the fact that this was a really bad period month, guys.
Damn, yeah.
I had a rough week, and my whole household had a rough week. So to anyone that I encountered this past couple of weeks, if I offended you or irritated you or made you feel like I hated you, I'm so sorry. I apologize, because it was a bad period.
You know what's jokes is you said this past week, but that could have applied to any week in any given month in any given year.
Straight up.
Okay, guys, is this like a roast? The roast of me again?
You roast yourself, man. You
Whatever. That's what my really good friend, I have one, said at work, that I provide the material to be roasted with. So.
Oh, but also Naina gets periods too. I don't know.
Does she? Oh my God, really?
Too,
oh my God, you get them too?
I do. Yeah, I do.
I'm not the only woman in the world that gets her period.
I learned a little bit about them since I've been married to her. So.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The Surrey public school definitely failed Mr. Randhawa here.
Big time. Well, I just didn't listen to all the school.
And also, you had 2 older sisters.
Yeah.
So
I was very surprised with his lack of knowledge.
Yeah, like, how did Tsuut'ina and I not teach you? But another failed parenting moment for us, since we practically raised Cam. I mean, we have to give credit to our mom, Gopi, but Serena and I'm 10 years older than you, and Serena is 7 years older than you. The middle child, she is. And so, sorry, we didn't teach you about the period. But also, I'd like to maybe come back another day and talk about that, because we didn't teach you about the period because there was nothing to talk about. Mm-hmm. You never talked about the period. Mm-hmm. What's that saying in Harry Potter, that the one we don't speak of?
Voldemort. Right?
What is that?
They don't say his name.
He who must not be named.
Yeah, that was the period, right?
They don't say it. Talk about the motherfucker.
So
interesting.
But anyways, middle fingers up to that.
Fair. I like that one.
Yeah. So thank you again for coming on today. I also wanted to drop a big thank you to DJ Heavy D, coming from Surrey, BC, who put my intro outro hook together. So big shout out to you.
Shout out to Heavy D.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah. Total.
Sick.
Yeah.
We love Manu.
Really much.
Yeah.
So
Manu's his real name.
Yeah.
His name's not
I think his real name is Manveer.
Manveer, yeah, sorry. Manu's his nickname.
We would know that because we grew up
Manveer.
Seeing his name on his parents' car license plate.
Oh.
He was kind of a big deal in his household.
Yeah.
So, and now he's providing us with music all the time.
Yep. He's wonderful.
So
he also DJ'd our wedding.
Yeah. It was lit.
Yeah, your wedding was so much fun. It was like practically the wedding that I never had. So we had a really good time at that.
The wedding you never had? You had a 7-day celebration for
I took
your wedding.
6 weeks off from work.
Yeah.
It was a big controversy at work when Carrie and I got married over 14 years ago. Because I'm pretty sure I was like one of like 2 Indian people, and I worked at this place for almost 18 years. At that time, I just started, and they were like, "What? You need how much time to do what?" And that didn't even include a honeymoon. Mm-hmm. That was like getting out there to do all the pre-festivities and get all the things and stuff.
They probably had to Google that up to make sure you weren't lying to get time off work. If there was Google back then.
Could we Google then? I don't even know. We probably could barely Google.
It was Ask Jeeves.
Yeah, Jeeves. That guy would lie to me.
Does Kieran really need 6 weeks off to get married?
Yeah. They're like, no, it can be done in 3.5.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go to my good friend. My sister and I grew up, and Cam, I guess, we grew up with 2 sisters. And so our houses were back to back. Shout out to Kim and Michelle. And it was Michelle, the younger sister, so my sister's best friend.
Talk about the ladder. Birthday. We had the ladder that connected.
Oh my God, we had the ladder. Their dad built us a ladder, so we would climb up the ladder from our side of the house and then down the ladder to their backyard. So our backyards were back to back.
Like a little Disney movie, right?
Yeah,
it was so cute. The girls were great. We were like their first brown family exposure.
Straight up.
And we had just moved to Surrey, actually. So Serena and I grew up in Richmond. And Cam was 2 years old when my parents decided to leave the whole family, our whole family. Like, there was one point where we all used to live on the same block together. You guys are going to get to hang out with our cousin Amin in a couple weeks. And we all grew up on the same block. Then my parents moved to King Road. And then they decided to move to Surrey. And it was like a big thing because everyone was like, why are you moving to Surrey? Like, nobody really did that. This was the beginning. And we moved to Guildford.
Mm-hmm.
So our family pretty much started brown people in Surrey.
Yeah. We were the pioneers.
First, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so actually yesterday a friend was telling me that I don't get to have Surrey credit because I was 12 when I moved there. So he's like, you're not really a Surrey, because I'm eventually have gotten to a place now where I'm super proud saying I'm from Surrey. I want to take that back. And so so anyways, we grew up there, and Kim and Michelle were our first exposure. And it was so fascinating because I remember Kim meeting Cam, and Cam actually at that time, believe it or not, he knew Punjabi. He spoke Punjabi when he was 2-3 years old.
I did. I seen some videos of me speaking like Punjabi, and I was like,
I want to see those videos.
Like, how the hell did I do that?
He was so cute. But what I really appreciate about Kim and Michelle was we coming from Richmond, we grew up with our cousins everywhere surrounding us. So, like my husband, Carrie, who's white, as everyone may know, he always jokes, how did you go to college in Canada? How did you grow up in Canada? And I always say, okay, I was born and raised in Canada. My super not proud of maple leaf on my tattoo that I got with my cousin Nita at the time, shout out, oh my gosh, just to prove I was Canadian, would say I'm Canadian. But we grew up, our household, we're first generation. So we grew up in this household where it was literally being Indian. And every weekend we didn't have friends because your family, right, is what they're your friends. So all our cousins, we grew up together. We would go to each other's houses and do all sorts of things. It was a really, I really appreciated that part of our childhood, hey Cam. And so then when we moved to Surrey, we started to lose some of that. We didn't get all, and then family politics, right? Like we're straight up, we could have a drama, the Rendashians, as I would call it, and just all the, things.
Which one are you?
Oh my God, I would be the super cool, super cute, I don't know.
What?
The pretty one with the pretty fabrics of saris that everyone wants to marry.
Oh no, I think he meant which Kardashian would you be?
Oh, I thought you meant on the show.
Kardashian would you
Well,
be?
Serena's already named us, right? I'm already Courtney because I'm the oldest.
You're the eldest, yeah.
And Cam's
Chloe.
Why is that?
Serena gets to be Kim because she's the middle child.
So I'm fucking Tristan Thompson.
Oh my God, Chloe, you had a baby and married Tristan.
You knocked me up.
Jeez Louise. But anyways, back to Kim and Michelle. Yes. This is where we're going. So anyways, coming to Surrey, I started to feel a little exposed coming out of that family, our other cultures, particularly white people. And Kim and Michelle and their parents were so amazing because I'm very certain that they did not know brown people. And our family, we love hard, we hate hard. So there's no balance. It's one or the other as you're learning. Nana, newlywed coming into our family. Welcome again.
Welcome.
So their family did such a lovely job accepting and integrating us, and our first sleepovers with friends, we were allowed to, if Kim and Michelle were there, we were allowed to do it because their parents were very similar in terms of being strict and the girls having a curfew and all that.
Right.
So
I think when I was 4, I tore all their wallpaper off their wall.
No way.
I think I remember by the kitchen dining room area.
I don't remember doing it, but
and you were invited back into that household?
They loved Cam.
Wow.
All my friends growing up, because he was a baby, they loved him. He was a cute little baby brother that would come everywhere, and he kind of had to because Serena and I did all the caretaking. We grew up having to, say, okay, who's looking after Cam today? And we didn't mind. He was a really good kid growing up. So what was really interesting with Kim and Michelle was at that time growing up in Surrey, we started to, streets were being named, written in Punjabi. And so our culture was wasn't the minority. It didn't feel that way. any of the white kids that you were friends with or were around, they wanted to know about our culture. They wanted to eat the Indian food, and our friends wanted to wear the beautiful lengas and saris and suits to the Indian parties, and it was a really nice balance where people were interested. You know, I'd have friends who, I don't know if you guys remember in high school when you'd have a school dance, and there'd be like the dance promotion.
Yeah.
And actually, Mina's going to be on an episode, my very dear best friend, Mina. And at the time, another friend we had, they would do all these dances, and it would be to Hindi songs and all that. And it was just always okay. And then 20 years ago, Carrie, so I meet my boyfriend, Carrie, at the time, who's now my husband of 14 years, but we've been together for, 21 years maybe. At the time, after 2 years after dating, so in 2002, I believe, we moved to Calgary. And holy crap, like, what a culture shock.
Yeah.
So, and you grew up in Calgary.
Yeah.
So what would you say that was like for you? Because I don't know, maybe I'm just like assuming, but I don't feel like you had the Indian experience that I feel we had out in Surrey.
No, yeah, it was different. I mean, I went to FFCA, which was like a chartered school.
The private school where you have to be pretentious and wear a uniform?
Yes. It wasn't a private school. It was, I don't know if it's classified as what it is anymore, but it's a semi-private. Like they still get funding from...
Parents get bang for their buck?
Yeah, like I don't remember if we even had a tuition attached.
Oh.
To be honest, I can ask my mom. But the purpose of the school was meant to be an accessible private school. So we had to write like an entrance exam to get in. I started when I was in grade 5.
Wow.
And then my brother joined soon after.
What would your entrance exam as a grade 5? So Xander's in grade 6 and he's 11. So like what, you'd be 10 years old? So what would your entrance exam, Cam, like, did you ever have to, that's already stress. Like, she's already going through stress.
Yeah, an exam to, like, possibly go to an elementary school.
Yeah, it was like basic stuff. Like, I don't remember the exam exactly, but it was like...
You didn't get pulled into a tiny classroom like Tsuut'ina, Cam, and I did with the round table, and they just assumed because my name was Kirandeep Kaur Randhawa, that I don't speak English, and it would take weeks before we'd start to realize that, whoa, we're not ESL. Like, maybe we need some extra help, clearly, because you keep putting us in this. So
I tried to stay in those classes, but they kicked me out.
Because
you get those sour keys and those candies.
You get to miss class and you get like treats and stuff.
You get pulled out and like you feel like important. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go with this teacher. Like, I don't know. I did do ESL too though. When I went to Stanley Jones for a few years before I went to FFCA, and in that school, I was in ESL for a couple of years.
Were there a lot of brown kids that you went to school with?
Like, there weren't that many. Honestly, at Stanley Jones, like, I remember, like, flocking to other brown people. Like, my friend Manisha, who I'm still friends with now, I met her at Stanley Jones.
Right.
There were a few girls that I'm still actually in touch with that were brown girls in my class. But when I look back at, like, the actual class photos from that time, I'd say like maybe 2 or 3 colored kids in each class. Like it wasn't a lot.
It's so interesting because I remember when I first met Carrie. Carrie grew up in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. And I mean, like, Carrie wore a turban, as Cam knows, to our wedding. Growing up in a trailer park, Saskatchewan, very a very steep cultural shock for he and the family. But I remember when we were dating, I was looking at his, when you get those class photos that you get taken.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, there's only white people, and there was maybe a couple of Indigenous kids in there, all white kids. And he never even thought about that until I brought it up.
Yeah.
It was so interesting for me because he was so culturally exposed to all these different minorities when he found his way to Vancouver, and he lived in Maple Ridge and parts of the Lower Mainland, and then meeting me and dating me and all that. But for us growing up, being not a minority in some ways, But in others where, okay, you're like, you can't go smelling like the roti your mom cooked from the night before because someone's going to make fun of you.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, having a unibrow and a mustache at the same time did not help as a kid. You look different or what. And then even for you, okay, I feel in Alberta, it makes so much sense. I'm actually quite surprised to hear that there were 2 or 3 kids that were of the
because it was
a different color.
It was community based, right?
So I grew Northeast, right?
Yeah, I grew up in the Northeast. My parents first I think moved somewhere else in the Northeast when my parents first immigrated here, but I think my dad very shortly after bought a house in Monterey, and we stayed there until I graduated high school.
So I met my eyebrow friend Bindi.
Yeah, Monterey Park. California 2.0. But it's a great community. I mean, I had no complaints. The only reason I think we had moved was because my parents were ready for a change, and I was going to University of Calgary, and it was a lot closer to live in the Northwest, more accessible for me to get to university. So there were a number of factors, and I think they were just ready to move. But I think because it was so region-based, community-based, like if I had grown up in Lake Bonavista or somewhere in the Southeast, it would have probably been me as the only brown kid.
Okay, so that's my kid's life because we currently live in Lake Bonavista.
Yeah.
And when we moved here 11 years ago, we just had Xander. He was just born. And I remember meeting neighbors and people at Xander's preschool school, and we live in a lake community. So in the summertime, that's around the time when I first went on mat leave, my family would visit, we'd go to the lake. And when I would take Xander, I would just automatically assume that I was a nanny.
Yeah, yeah.
And it didn't even help when we had Terrence, because Terrence came out whiter than white, like seriously. And so even then, because all during the day at the lake on a Monday or a Wednesday, you have all the Filipino nannies and maybe a couple of the white moms, and then maybe some other parents, and then there was me. Like I remember constantly having Terrence on my boob, breastfeeding him at the lake when I met these like really cool moms. Just to be like in my own way, because I was so self-conscious that this is my kid. So, but that's my worry sometimes with them, is that being part of an interracial culture, like Carrie and I really have to balance our values and our culture, because the boys are good in so many ways. They're already more connected to Carrie because they're boys and that's their papa and he's a man, and they identify sometimes as white. But lately, it's been interesting. Lately, Terrence has been asking a lot about Punjabi and asking a lot of questions about what was it like, for me growing up. And I've also started lately watching Indian movies again that I grew up with, just to have that sound in the house. It was so, the other day I was watching Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that movie. And also
just so jokes.
Just like so awesome watching how Kajal, whose name is Anjali, which is your mom's name, is this amazing basketball player. And she's beating her best friend in college, Shah Rukh Khan, Rahul. And, they like get into this, and they're like the college's best, most popular people. They run that college. And she's
There's basketball on that show?
Oh my God, she schools him in basketball, but you should see her playing basketball. She looks like me with one hand out to balance her and like bent over and dribbling this ball, right? And I'm watching this and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm kind of sad that I'm watching it again now because of how I remembered it.
Yeah.
When we were adolescents and those songs. And I think that was like when Manish Malhotra was designing the outfits. Those were, when Karan Jay was the director, like those movies were starting to be it was a change.
Yeah.
And so it was a transition. They were cool, and some of the ways that they were acting was even almost like Hollywoody and taking from different characters. But anyways, these movies were amazing. So watching it the other day, and so what I'm trying to say is just having that noise or having that sound or helping me remember too, because I'm further away. Like Cam and I are out here, and thank God he married you, a brown girl, because having your parents and your family starts to feel again for us like, oh yeah, okay, this is what I remember growing up in. And it blows my mind because every time Tsuut'ina comes down here and visits, she's always weirded out because she can still, like, we've been here for 20 years and I feel I've become immune to a lot of things that I've had an awakening recently. And I'm like, oh my God, I kind of look the other way when this one thing happens, when somebody mocks something in an Indian accent. Mm-hmm. You know, that really irks me now, where before I'd be like, ah. Yeah. Or when Justin Trudeau did the whole brown face thing. Yeah. And what actually bothered me about that was, first of all, it was done, and I don't know, like, people may disagree and, like, think that's fair. Like, just for me, how I've been processing getting closer to my culture is when that happened a couple of years ago, I remember getting more upset that the white people around were making this really big deal. And the big deal was, like, greatly appreciated, but what sucked was it silenced the Indian voices. Yeah. So it wasn't until way later where people actually went and talked to the man that he had taken that picture with. And did you just get scared by a spider right now?
No, there's a little fly. I just killed it.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, if it's this room is known for spiders. This used to be Cam's bedroom.
I would not swat at a spider. I would just scream and run away.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
right.
Sorry, buddy.
Seriously, yeah.
That is true.
So
my bedroom.
Right. So, anyways, when Tsuut'ina came down a couple years ago, she was, like, blown away by how we went out to the National one night. Yeah. And the National is a really well-known bar in Calgary, would you not say? They have, like, a lot of locations.
Yeah, multiple locations, very
it's kind
popular.
of like the place to go, I guess.
Yeah. It is, right?
But there's no National in BC, right? There's only in Calgary?
I think so.
As far as I know, I think it's just Calgary.
Yeah, I think it's, like, the place to go.
And, like, because you can go, they have a basement where you can bowl and you can dance, you can eat, you can be in a bar, and they have a few locations. Mm-hmm. And they also are affiliated with, like, super connected with the Calgary Stampede. They have a
tent, right?
Yeah, they have a tent. Is it the Wild Saloon? I don't know. Like, I had
one of them, yeah. Like,
is it the one we went to this summer for your work thing?
It could have been. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Never going back there again, but. Anyways, it's I guess what we're saying is it's a pretty well-known establishment around here, right?
Yeah, very popular.
So Tsuut'ina comes out and we're like, let's go out. And you and Cam were just dating at that time, maybe a year or so in, because this was in 2019.
It was in 2019, yeah. So we were we weren't at a year yet. I think we had, we were
a few months in, right?
Yeah.
And so we went to the National, and Tsuut'ina and I were downstairs dancing like women with children do when they get a night out. I just want to dance. And then so we came upstairs because you got to go all the way up, and there was, like, that little side bar when you come up, you can play ping pong there.
Right.
Anyways, we didn't see you guys. You guys were hanging around there somewhere, but Tsuut'ina and I went right to the bar to get a drink. And when we go to the bar, we don't get served, and we're waiting there for quite some time. Like, I know you guys know this because you guys were there.
Yeah.
But what happens is we're like, why is this bartender not serving us?
Yeah.
And I remember even making a stupid joke to Tsuut'ina, like, are we, like, hideous or something? Which, you know, so stupid to even make a joke like that, but we did. And then finally the guy just comes out and says, and there's, like, these, I guess I call them bystanders, standing there getting served because other people were getting served and they, like, before us.
Yeah.
And so anyways, he says to Tsuut'ina and I'm not serving you. I'm not serving your color. Mm-hmm. And we're like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And so first I thought he was like, so he said something else. He was joking. And anyways, we get very, like, Tsuut'ina and I got very impacted by that. He refused to serve us. I think we were there with your friends too.
Yeah.
Nana has a lot of friends, by the way. Shout out to every single one of them, and especially the ones I haven't even met yet. Can't wait. But doesn't she, Cam?
Yeah, like all of Calgary just got a shout out pretty much.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
Relax.
Seriously, all of Calgary. Anyways, so Tsuut'ina and I go to make a complaint.
Right.
And we're worked up because we didn't get served because of our fucking color.
Remember he said you guys don't tip.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
no, you people don't tip.
People don't tip.
You people don't tip.
You people out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He did say that.
And then that's why Tsuut'ina went to the other bar and gave that server a $20 tip.
She did, and she came back, and we were worked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were like, we got to leave. Mm-hmm. Like, we can't be here. And your friends, you guys were going to go somewhere else. So we went to coat check. And then Serena and I were like, no, we're not like this. I just got told that I can't have something because I'm a human. Like, because of my color. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make a complaint. And, the manager that was covering that night, he was kind. He really, I don't think he knew what to do, what to say, which is a problem. A lot of people don't know what to do and say. And then it's filled with, things that I think become more painful and keeps perpetuating this racist problem we have. And so he decides to say to Serena and I, you know what, like, we'd love to have you back. We're really sorry about this experience. And like, he proceeds to give us coupons. And I'm like, dude, I'm not complaining because my food was cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I can't ever come back here.
Like, this needs to be addressed.
Right.
In like a manner that's appropriate. Not in a way that I'm getting a drink ticket or a coupon. Yeah.
Totally. And coming from a childhood where we've experienced racism, I think many, like, I can give you guys so many, we all can share so many stories. But what bothered me was that this was 2019. We're at a well-known establishment. This kid, he's a kid behind that bar, and he's young, and he has like no idea what he's saying, what he's doing, and probably doesn't even think he's being racist. Just, he has power. And I remember down at when we're talking to the manager, like, pulling out my phone, and then Serena was drunk too, so she starts to copy me and pulls out her phone, and I'm trying to tell this manager that I'm actually kind of like, normal. Like, I'm not that person because I'm married to a white guy. Like, I showed him a picture of Carrie on my phone.
Yeah.
And I think that, and the fact that all your friends, it broke my heart, all of you were so immune to this. Like, Serena and I lost my voice for 3 years. This is why I'm doing this whole thing.
Yeah.
Is to find my voice and help others find their voice, and, maybe, I don't know, it sounds crazy, build a community where that doesn't happen. Or at least start talking about it. And it was so sad to hear all of you say, but if we say something every time this happens, then we would have no place to go. It's hard to say something.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What do you say to that?
Yeah, sorry. It was,
like, it's...
Yeah, because even in that moment, I remember you telling me, you and Serena were by coat check. We were talking to that manager. I remember he was wearing a hat or something, right? Yeah, and then I remember you guys both pulling out your cell phones, showing him pictures, and I was like, what is going on? Like, what? And I was like, I was just so flabbergasted at the whole situation. And I'm like, what happened? And then you guys filled me in. You told me that you wanted to leave, and I was like, yeah, let's go. Like, we can leave. And then when we came home and debriefed is when we had that conversation about...
I didn't sleep that night.
Yeah. And I remember I was
also bawling. Serena and I we came back to the house, and and you, again, Nana's had a few very intense, emotional, intimate moments with me, maybe Serena, you and I, where, you're like, oh my God, I don't even know you that well, and you're sharing this. But like, we were bawling our eyes out.
Yeah.
And even when we got sober,
yeah,
we were still bawling our eyes out. And you guys were like, yeah, no, this is an issue. I have not gone back.
Yeah.
I refuse to go back. And you know what? This was going into the summer because I was about to go Carrie and I were going to go celebrate our good friends Mark and Audra's 40th. So we were about to climb Machu Picchu. And I remember making so I had posted stuff on my Instagram account, and I got some feedback from people like, holy crap, this happens to me. Like, so many people were saying that this happens.
Right.
And finally somebody helped me by reposting what I wrote, and because I had sent the National a message saying I really would like to connect. And honestly, what I really wanted from this, because I did connect, I got to get on a phone call with them and their HR manager, and they heard me out, and they said they fired the guy, and that actually saddened me. I worked at the time in mental health, and we had a really cool, important opportunity to, I think, team up together and tried to make this community a little bit better, because they're a very well-known place, and doesn't everybody want YYC and to be this place where people want to be around and come to and talk highly of. And I sort of dropped those, me, I'm not very subtle, like it was not so subtle. Finally they were like, hey, would you like to collaborate with us and do some work? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I can make a human rights complaint right now. And maybe I should have, but I just thought, why can we come together so this doesn't continue to happen? And they never, ever call me back, email me back, connected with me again. Yeah. And from that, I had some people ask me, like, what came out of that? Right. And I was like, nothing. Yeah. And a lot of those people were my, good friends and colleagues and people, like a lot of white people that I know well that were really hurt that this happened, because that's not them. That's not how they would, behave. And it bothered them that someone from their own race, represented them in that way. However, at the same time, it was like, well, why didn't you do more? Yeah. And I can't. In that moment, it's like, I can't. I'm Indian, an Indian woman. The people that I could contact directly won't even call me back. Yeah. So what should I do? And that's where poof, I was kind of gone for a bit. Like I people at work and people that I knew well started to say, you're different. Like you're not like, ooh, loud and whatever. And I think I got really scared and self-conscious about what I say and who I say to, and that I didn't matter. And so I lost my confidence. It was bad. I had a lot of crisis of confidence at work and my personal life, and like, what kind of mom do I want to be to these boys that are half that, half weight, and here we are then 3 years later, taping our first episode, talking about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's wild. And it's really important, because it's not only an analysis of like what actually happened, but also an analysis of what you did in the moment and what you were open to doing, and then kind of how their reaction shut you down. And then the ripple effect, like of what things that you've prioritized since, and like you're wanting to get back to your roots, wanting to have noise of kuch kuch hota in your living room, like things like that. Like not giving full credit to this like random a-hole that was like so inappropriate, but sometimes going through a really rough experience can kind of open you up to wanting to be better.
Totally.
Like, and like recognizing how you felt about that. Like, it's like, maybe you didn't even realize how important it was.
Honestly, it's a good point, because I'm a control freak. People that know me well know that. That stems from a lot of the ways that I was raised as a child, being the oldest and all that. And sometimes being a control freak works really well, because I can shut people out, I can close those doors. But sometimes being a control freak sucks, because I'm trying to determine what the outcome should be before it's happened. And this process, honestly, I didn't know I'd be sitting here today recording and putting myself out here, inviting people who trust me that are showing up and recording with me, because to me at the time I thought, oh my God, like what, fire that guy, or I'm hurt, and saying, yes, I'm hurt and this impacted me, but what can I gain? There has to be, my mom always says, there always has to be some good that comes out of something so tragic like this, so terrible like this. And I can only start with myself. Yeah. At the end of the day, I can say some other people, and that person, I have a lot to do. And so these 3 years actually really helped me to just start to do some reflecting and growing up. And it was coming to the end of my 30s. I had 40 last year. So I think naturally just getting to this like, second act. I have an opportunity to relive and try things, and I appreciate the dudes that go get their muscle cars. You call it midlife crisis or call it your second act.
Yeah.
An opportunity to do something different. And I feel like I have more control like this.
Yeah.
Letting that process unfold. And so it's really not about boycotting the National and never going there again. People can go do whatever they want. I don't care about that. What I care more about is what did I get out of it? And if anything, am I being a better mom to my kids? And I think it's opened the door to Carrie's world too in some ways, that whole experience, because this was on the cusp of 2020 where the Black Lives Movement began and really, really blew up, if you guys remember. And then COVID happened.
Yeah.
So we could have actually been ahead of the game. Calgary could have been ahead of the game in one way of doing something to support all cultures. However, it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, because National probably was never going to acknowledge that role that they may play in, like,
they just fired the guy, swept him the rug, and then hired someone else and like move on.
Yeah,
like, they don't want to be educated. They don't want to learn. They don't want to.
Why do you think that is?
Because it's a waste of their time. They don't want to be better.
I think it's also just like, it's like the ugly head of like the service industry, and like it is classist quite a bit. It is racist. It is sexist.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that kid that got fired, he's probably still to this day doesn't even think he did anything wrong.
And he probably
and it's my fault.
And he blames you, right?
Me.
Yeah.
That super hot brown chick.
Oh my god.
Right. We can laugh.
No, yeah.
We went from those tears and tears and tears, and me like just because I remember picking both of your like how and Cam, you shared so many times where like weren't you sent home one day from a bar?
Yeah, this guy didn't even make it into the bar because the guy. Oh, sorry, I'm just stealing.
No, yeah, no,
go for it. Well, actually, I because you brought up how mad Carrie was about that too, and how it opened like a door for him. But I'll talk about that club scene. But also there was at our bachelor party when we were on the yacht. Yeah. Remember how mad Carrie was? Remember we had that little situation with like the yacht club?
No.
So we rented, we were on I think it was a yacht. It was a nice boat. We were on a boat.
Was it your bachelor party?
Yeah, for my bachelor party. Shit. So it was me, Carrie, and a bunch of my friends.
You, Carrie, and two other people.
All brown guys.
All brown guys, yeah.
So Carrie's the only white person there.
Carrie was the only white guy other than the captain.
This is so cute. Just 1 second. Carrie has known you since you were 9 years old. Like your brother-in-law is at your stag. That's just so cute. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Sean was there too, no?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sean was there too. My other brother-in-law who's white.
Sean's
Sean was
like
there.
classic.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I was
another white guy.
James. Did James go?
No, James was invited, but he didn't go. But so... Anyways, they rented a boat. We were on a boat, and the captain, he agreed to take us to, what was it, Bowen Island, I think?
Yeah.
Which is an island like
Wasp City.
Around Vancouver area, you know. So we were headed, like, the captain's a part of the yacht club, so he had like private parking.
Okay.
Like where only if you're part of a yacht club you can park your boat. Do you park a boat? Or you stow? I don't even fucking know. But
you pull up in your boat.
Yeah, pull up in the yacht and shit, right? So we pulled up in the yacht, and like there's a lot of nice yachts and boats around, like, you know, $1 billion fucking boats and shit. Probably not $1 billion, but, you know, rich boat, expensive boats, all that shit. And these two elderly white people like come out because they see me, Gertie, like Harjo, a bunch of brown guys, and Carrie was inside at the time, so they were like, what are these brown guys doing here? So they're like, that's like, we could see that in their face, and they're looking at us and like, excuse me, and then we're like, yeah, and then they're like, are you part of the yacht club? And then we're like, I don't know. What? And they're like, you can't park here. And then Carrie came outside because he's seen them talking to us. They saw Carrie, and they're like, oh, okay, never mind.
How do I not know this story?
You guys are good, and then we were just
for
like,
people that can't see him, he is putting his thumbs up.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
the people were like thumb up to Carrie, and he was like, what the fuck? And then me and Gertie were just like, we were laughing about that because we're like, shut them up, but also like, he's like, how are you guys not mad about that? And I'm like, oh, it happens that shit happens every day, man. That's insane. That's like whatever, right? Like you don't belong here. Like,
but what about those things that it's interesting you put that out there, because there are lots of those stories where we laughed too, because wouldn't you say, like, growing up, right?
Well, we have stories from when we were like 4, like starting at like as long as I can remember. There's like a racist story, like there's so many racist stories you've been through, which honestly probably make like we're a lot stronger than other people because this shit happens to us.
I think it's also a recognition of like microaggressions now too, right? Like and not somebody that's outwardly calling you a packy, but it's like somebody very clearly treating you differently because you're brown. And that, like, just like a small little thing, they're like, oh, no, like, we didn't mean it like that. But you're like, no, you did. Like,
well,
you know,
living in Lake Bonavista 11 years ago, when I met a couple of the parents, I would have other people that I didn't know. This was like the one time, in the worst way possible, that I was like super like popular in the community that I lived in, because I was the only brown person and the brown woman. And so people would be like, oh, I know you through so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, this is what Kardashian life must be like, right? Without the fact that it was because I'm the only brown person that's in this community. So it's nobody, they're not meaning to say anything or not, but there's a lot said without knowing. Like, sometimes people just don't recognize when they're, you know, asking you a question, or
where are you really from?
Totally.
You look so exotic.
Yeah, you're the most beautiful brown girl in this room. God. I've been told that.
That's fucking terrible.
In this room or ever?
Yeah, and I even asked Carrie later. I was like, Carrie, so have you ever like all the times before me that you were with white chicks, did you ever say things like, you're the most beautiful white girl that I'm dating?
Yeah.
So why is it that I'm the most beautiful brown girl? Why can't I be the most beautiful girl?
Yeah.
One day, that's my goal in life. You know what? When I die, well, I guess I'm getting cremated. I'm not, well, remember that time that I wanted to be mummified for a bit? But I guess, is it an epitaph?
I don't know.
You know, your plot that you write? Maybe you write, now it's not, I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. Now instead I'm the most beautiful woman in the world.
That'll never happen. But just to back up a little bit on the other story, I want to talk about that one too, because that was a funny one.
You got club one.
Yeah. So another racism story brought to you by Carl Singh Randella. So this is like a couple, maybe more than a couple years ago, like 6 years ago, I'd say. Because
it was pre-Nana.
It was pre-Nana, yeah. When I was single.
Is that PN? Do we say PN?
I was single like a Pringle. That's what they say on Love is Blind.
Oh my God.
I'm a single Pringle. Anyways. So when I was a single Pringle, we went to, me and a few brown guys, we went to Commonwealth.
Oh my God,
you know?
I like that bar because you could eat when you were like super drunk.
Was it like the hot dogs or something at the bar?
And like little bites of some stuff.
They had good music. I don't know about
They did. They had like different floors, didn't they?
They had 2 floors.
They had 2 floors, I think. Yeah.
So, you're at Commonwealth.
So, and I've been in Calgary for over 10 years now, maybe. So we would go to Commonwealth all the time because that was like the place. We usually find like a good bar or a good club and like just always go there.
Yeah.
And I don't know why one time. So I went in. I was wearing burgundy jeans. You know, like burgundy jeans.
I know which ones they are. I love those jeans.
Yeah, they're really.
And they're really comfortable. But like, are burgundy jeans still in? Because I think it was
They'll
like a
always.
trend.
That's a forever classic look, man.
I remember because Gertie, one of my buddies, he's like a heckler. He's a hater. So he's just all night making fun of me for wearing these burgundy jeans. And I was like, I don't know. I thought it was like a thing. But anyways, those jeans got me in trouble.
You're a fashionista of your group. Sometimes you're way too ahead.
That's right. Because this guy he just wears like sweatpants everywhere he goes. But so
he was wearing jeans that night though.
That one he had to wear jeans, right? You have to wear jeans to a club.
Yeah.
So we're standing in line, we're waiting in line, and we get to the front, and the bouncer lets Gertie in. He lets Gurjot in, and then to me, he's like, "You can't come in." And I'm like, "Why?" And then he's like, you're wearing sweatpants. And I was like, what? I was like, these are jeans. I was like, this is denim. So I like pulled my shirt up and showed him my belt loop. I'm like, what sweatpants have a fucking belt loop?
Very good point. Good job. Good argument.
But it was the people around me that got me in trouble because everyone started laughing when I said that to him.
And then his ego.
Then he got embarrassed.
So
then
he kind of felt dumb, I guess, maybe. Mm-hmm. So then he's like, I think he was like, get the fuck out of here or something. He said that to me. And I was just like, okay. So then I called Gertie guys. I'm like, yeah, I can't get into the club. So they had to they already bought drinks and stuff.
Oh man.
So they had to leave and shit and come out. And then I was just like, I remember looking at him when I left and I was like, you're a loser.
And we laughed.
Yeah.
Why don't you show him a picture of you and Carrie?
Yeah, right? Honestly, that...
Yeah, and he was a white bouncer, so yeah.
That made me... Honestly, you bring that up. Tsuut'ina and I have talked about this. We talked about the whole national experience once recently when she was here at your wedding reception.
Yeah.
And we kind of processed it, and first time in 3 years, because we were very emotional talking about it again, because that really impacted us. And we both cringed when we brought it up, because we were like, we need to go back and relive the details. Like, we need to just talk about it step by step. So we talked, and you were there. We talked about step by step. We were both so embarrassed, even though we knew we were already there, that we did that. And honestly, I have been realizing last couple of years, I have been hiding behind Carrie. I've gotten invited to things because of Carrie. My last name, McKay, has helped me a lot in not the best way possible. You know, like, people are more willing to talk to a Kieran McKay than a Kieran Randawa. And Kieran McKay, for the longest time where I used to work, anyone that hadn't met me, they thought they were expecting some big, jolly Scottish man.
Right.
And then they meet this Indian woman.
Yeah.
And just having that name and going to places with Carrie allowed me over the years to sort of, I think, get quieter and silence my culture, my voice. And it had nothing to do with my husband. My husband brought me closer to being Indian. Like, my parents have thanked him so many times, saying, thank you so much for coming into our lives. Because he was so intrigued by our culture when he first met us, and would go and research stuff and ask my grandpa lots of questions and learn about our culture in ways that I didn't even know. And so I don't know where that happened. I think Alberta, moving out to Calgary, I think made me have to hide behind it more. I remember going to a work party and I wore a suit, because you can go to white events and wear Indian clothes, and people would love it coming from where I came from. And I remember I had to go present an award, and my boss at the time came up to me and was like, oh my God, so-and-so just came up to me and asked, why is that woman wearing a butterfly costume?
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my gosh. I was blown away. I was like, so I never wore anything Indian.
That's terrible.
To those kinds of things again, because it blew my mind that happened. And then I'm processing it, and, you know, in some ways also laughing about it, because that's how you process it. You laugh at you laugh about these things to think, ha 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 ha. Isn't it a lot lighter to do that than to let it be so gut wrenching, I guess.
Yeah, I went to a barbecue once with my old boss. All white people. I think there was like maybe one black woman who was like the partner of one of the men that was there. But my old boss's partner was talking about how he can't do accents. Like, he's so bad at it. Like, whenever he's like trying to do an accent,
oh my God, like
an English accent, Irish, like that type of stuff. So he was keeping it very like PC. But I was just laughing, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, that's funny. And then my boss turns to her friends, and she's like, yeah, sometimes what happens is when he tries, it turns into an Indian accent. So I'm still laughing, because I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, oh, like, that's funny that's like what it turns into, I guess. Like, it just always defaults to an Indian accent, even though you're like a very white man. But super interesting. And then she like turns back to her friends, and she's like, yeah, so he just told her that every time he tries an accent, and then this man goes, oh yeah, it turns into a Paki one, right? Man. And I burst into laughter. Like, and that's like, I totally understand the laughing, because it's just like, you're just like, what do I do?
And like, everybody looks at you.
Yeah, everyone did. It was pin drop silent, and I was the only one making noise because I could not stop laughing. My coworker, who's still a good friend of mine, turns to me, and she's enraged. Like, she's pissed off, and she's like, what the fuck is wrong with that man? Why would he say that? And I'm like, it's okay. I'm just laughing, because I don't know how else to react. I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, I don't want to, and like, that's the silencing thing too, right? I'm like, I don't want to make shit awkward for my boss. Like, I don't want to get into it with her friend at her barbecue, you know? Like, it was just such an awkward situation where I'm like, all I can do is laugh, and just like be like, yeah, everyone, like, stop fucking staring at me. Like, I'm not gonna have a reaction to this. Like, I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction of like turning this into a preaching moment, right? Like, you know, like, I'm out. But
still, to be comfortable, just to say like Paki. Like,
I know that's the thing.
Because that's not a good, because I remember,
and the pin drop silence probably wouldn't have happened if I wasn't there, right?
Oh, but okay.
Yeah.
That's something in itself right there too. That it's a different response when you're not there versus when you are there, and that's where it comes back to, like, I don't know, for me, I can only start with myself in my own house, working with my kids, Carrie and I trying to better ourselves, because it happens everywhere we go in all sorts of conversations. And I think we're just kind of sweeping it under the carpet as it's happening, because we feel that I think sometimes too we operate in this culture of fear. So if I bring it up, if I point that out, then everyone's going to get mad at me. But at the same time, it's like, why can't, like, that's not the wrong thing.
Well, also if the guy says that, he blurts out that word, and then it's also like one brown girl around like a bunch of white people. So like, even if Nana, like, maybe things would be different now. Maybe you would say something.
I probably would now.
But like, still, like, even like, she's already lost that battle. Like, you think about it like that.
Yeah.
Like,
you just picture those.
Oh, but Nana is like, he didn't mean it like, then someone else is gonna be. He didn't mean it like that. Well, what's he mean it like?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like, you're not even from Pakistan, so why do you care?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like.
Yeah,
and then
not
they're
you.
all gonna,
we know
like,
you're different.
And then you're just gonna get so mad and you're so angry about that. So that's why we just never say. That's why we don't say anything.
Yeah, it's like, that's
right?
why we can't talk openly around you. Like, we can't make
now
this
it's
joke.
your
We can't be
fault.
funny around you guys.
My God.
Like, you know, like,
you're
you guys,
the piece of shit
you're
now,
just
right?
you're just so sensitive, and I'm just like, holy shit. Like,
You're so sensitive.
oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so jokes, because even so, same night, me and my coworker, who's like a total firecracker, like, she would have beat that guy up if I had given her.
You did have the one backing you up.
Yeah, so I was like, and my boss too, she was incredibly embarrassed, and she apologized to me multiple times, and I was like, you don't need to apologize. Like, it's fine. Weird.
So I have a good story for you guys. I just thought about a story.
Yeah.
Since there's, has there ever been a time where you kind of used the racism to your advantage?
Oh. Oh. Damn.
So remember when I lived in Peace River for a bit?
Yes.
So if anyone listening here, if you don't know where Peace River is,
it makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah, you don't need to know where it is, but it's like super fucking north Alberta.
Like, I don't even think you want to know where it is.
Yeah.
Extremely north Alberta, right? Like, so north that like you get to see the northern lights almost every night.
Can you see Santa?
Nice. Yeah, actually, I did see Santa. Yeah, he's brown, by the way. But yeah, so I remember I was trying to get a job out there, and then I was working at a grocery store while I was trying to get that job. So I just got a part-time job at a grocery store. And did
they sell like chicken in a can or something?
Yeah, I think chicken in a can gets sold. No, maybe it doesn't get sold everywhere, right? Yeah, it was like a full-size chicken in a can.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah.
Maybe I started there, but anyway, like, so I was, and also Peace River, like their radio station is it's strictly like, they have like 10 different country stations. It's all country music, but the country music that they play is like how I love like underground rap music. Yeah, they play like underground country music, because when I came back, because I was in a grocery store and they played the same music over and over. Is that
why you like Marty Robbins?
No, that's because of a video game. But they're playing, and so you just know the lyrics to these songs. You know the lyrics to these songs.
Were you singing along?
I was singing along to the song because it just got played every day there.
Where would I ever would you ever imagine your husband? Can you imagine Cam singing along to country songs? Yeah.
Because it's played and it's like country.
Belt buckle.
Yeah. It was like that type of shit. Like,
Cam's just a cashier at the grocery store.
And people are like, you don't even
like,
own
what? Baby, I can make
buckle.
bannock. When he's like saying stuff like that, you know? Like, and then when I came back from Peace River, I put these songs on to like people that like country music, and they're like, "What the fuck? We've never heard it. Like, where'd this come?" And I was like, "It was on the radio station."
And that's good for you, because you've always been the one in our group that always comes up with finds the new music.
Yeah. But I think I hate country music even more now.
You found AP which, by the way, is a brown Justin Bieber. I claim that. I said that a long time ago. You found him way before all the brown parties found him.
Way before he was cool.
Before all the Indian receptions were playing him.
Yeah, you know, he used to work at Subway. He worked at Subway.
I love it.
And then I think he was just like singing songs or something.
Do you know that he was on stage with Nas a couple weeks ago?
Oh yeah, in New York, right? Yeah. They did their show in New York. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, back to this Peace River story. Yeah. So I used the racism I took it as, what am I trying to say here, Nana?
I'm not sure. What's the story?
I
used it took it to my advantage. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So I wanted a day off, and like the manager was married to the guy who, like the warehouse manager, like the store manager is married to the warehouse manager there, and there's obviously all white people there at the store at Peace River, and they'd always ask me weird questions, right? Because like they never met a Punjabi person before, they always ask me like weird questions.
Like what? Like what would they ask?
I can't fully
like what do you eat?
Yeah, always like obviously you don't eat bacon and like all that shit, like like that stuff, and then once. So this is my story. Just sort of going. So the warehouse manager, he asked me once if I worship a cow. I remember him asking me this. He's like, "Do you guys worship cows?" He said that, and I was like, "Yes, we do." Right. And then he's like, "Why?" And then I was like, "I don't know." I'm like, I'm not too sure. I can ask my mom and then tell you like the next time I talk to you, but like I don't remember why. And he's like, "Oh, cool." And then I remember like next week I was like, "Hey, like I talked to my mom, and actually that worship is coming up." I don't know. I don't remember fully what I said. I think I made up a festival, a festivity. I can't fully remember. I can't fully remember. This story I totally forgot about too. I just kind of like remembered it right now. But I was like, it's like on Thursday, and I was like, I need the day off.
Oh my god!
And then right away. So sorry, I told the husband this because there's the managers that they're both married, and then he went and got the wife. She came in to to the back, and then I told her, and then they're like, yeah, absolutely, of course you can have the day off, right? Like you can take the day off, and then I was like, okay, awesome, thank you. And I never told Sajan that. Sajan's like, you're the fucking man. I'm like,
oh my god, even Sajan's a lot like, dude, you shouldn't be doing that.
No, he's like, you're the fucking man, like to get a day off that way. And
worshipping cows.
And then I was like, we don't like, what if they Google it and shit? But I think they were just like, we don't want to be racist,
like offensive
or offensive.
Yeah.
So you do what you need to do. You slaughter your cow. Do what you have to do.
You slaughter your cow.
You're
like, no, we worship them. I'm so sorry. I
would never think of slaughtering a cow.
No, never. Yeah.
But I remember that. That was good. What was the festivity I used? I remember. Fuck, it was good.
So you were using like their ignorance.
Yeah.
To your advantage.
To my advantage.
Yeah. Because you knew that they weren't going to question you.
No.
Yeah.
Even though they could have Googled it.
Yeah. Like they were too scared to assume that you'd be lying.
That was a good one. Yeah.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, the story is very funny, but is that okay to do?
It's probably not. Obviously, it's not.
Yeah.
Who do you ask though? Like what? The racist god? Like the race god? Like who is that?
Yeah.
I'm the god of racism.
Yeah, the god of racism.
That'd be a good one, eh?
Thor
versus the god of racism.
Oh my god!
And he loses.
The god of racism.
Oh,
or
racism
Thor?
can't be defeated. I don't know how to fucking talk like Thor.
I love it.
Wow.
You should write it.
So since I've been talking a lot lately.
Yeah, Cam. These are the most words you've ever said in one sitting.
Yeah, I'm not a talker. I usually you can ask my wife. I'm a good listener.
But hey.
Well, I have an idea though.
Mm.
Let's do a top 5 segment. How about that?
Oh, nice.
Let's do a top 5.
Yeah, let's do that.
That is so you. Every time we get together, we
Segue.
always do a top 5. You want to do like every time you're on, you do a top 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well that means you have to come back on more.
Yeah, and come up with really cool ones.
I want my royalties.
Oh,
my royalties.
That's assuming this is gonna make money.
Let's call this Cam's Corner.
Okay.
Corner with the K.
Let's do a top. Let's do
okay.
Hold on, wait. I got the best intro for this. Oh wait, that's clapping. Hold on.
Oh my god.
No, I got it now.
Wow.
Cam's Corner.
Okay,
Here
so
we are.
It's called Cam. We have to go with Cam's Corner now. I don't really like
Sponsored by Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Shout out to Bone Thugs, best rappers ever. We're not going to do top 5 rappers today though, or top 5 artists. We won't do that. We'll save that for another day. Okay. Or should we just do that today?
I don't know. What do you want? This is you. Every time you come over, you have a top 5.
I have so many ideas.
I love that you're doing this, by the way.
I just love top 5 segments. I could watch top 5 segments all the time, man.
Okay, let's do it. Pick one.
Let's go. Let's do something a little hard. Let's go hard. So, sorry, I put my phone on the table again, and I made fucking noise. Let's go top 5 fast food places.
Oh, God.
Favorite fast food places.
Okay.
You know what? I like that one because the top 5 rappers, I don't really have a lot of.
Yeah, because you're not cool.
Gone.
Because you don't listen to cool music.
Her like top like your number one favorite rapper. You're like,
you know what you should do?
One of the Jonas Boys.
So just
the Jonas Brothers. We call them Jonas Boys.
Just a future plug for a future episode. We have 2 women coming on at some point to speak about some womanly issues, and both of them would be great for the top 5 rappers.
Should I, on behalf of Cam, ask?
Yes, I think you should do it with them.
Yeah, that's a real. I'm very much looking forward to that episode.
That's a good one.
I'll be in the room.
Yeah,
I'll be in the room and make sure that
they're good at.
I'm yelling out my top 5 as well.
Okay, you can come by. We'll let you know when. That sounds good.
Okay, go
it's
ahead.
my segment.
That's
I have to be here for my segment.
Do your segment.
That's next week, Cam. Okay,
it's Cam's
let's
Corner.
do it again.
We're
Let's do it
doing
again.
a segment.
Okay, let's do it again.
No, wrong one.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. How's that? Should the yeah?
Welcome back from the break. And here we are at Cam's Corner. Take it, Cam.
I'm Cam. And I'm going to be in the corner today. So, we're going to do the top 5. So my area.
Oh my god.
So I'm in that ESL classroom.
So my corner is all about top 5.
Wow.
Top 5 best or worse. What? Today we're going to go with top 5 fast food places.
Wow.
Okay.
Food.
Okay.
And like included, you can say
Okay,
freshie,
the
that
rules
shit,
now.
whatever, like that freshies. It's fast food. You know what fast food
So
is,
pretty
right?
much anything
like a mucho burrito.
You go get if you're sitting down for more than a half an hour, it's not fast food.
Like
okay?
where you sit down, you get
So
served.
Nando's wouldn't count.
Nando's I think would count
Because you're sitting down waiting for that.
You
food.
order at the counter.
I don't know if Nando's is fast food. It's not fast. Like Five Guys is like the borderline. Five Guys is fast food, but it's like Nando's takes longer.
Okay, even if you're ordering at a counter, waiting is the line.
And Nando's doesn't have a drive-through either, but Five Guys doesn't. Okay, so let's go. So who wants to go first?
Oh, I'm surprised you're asking because usually you're like, and I'll go first.
Well, no. I might need some time to think.
Because he's hosting now.
All right, he's hosting. He's taking the hosting.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, top 5 fast.
Wait, in order or just top 5?
I'm just gonna say top 5.
Yeah,
not like
order will
one
be here all day.
Yeah, like
go in order.
no.
Oh my god, it's
just
too much pressure. I don't want that kind of.
No,
pressure.
like top.
This is the first time I'm nervous during the whole taping. Now I'm nervous.
Top 5 go-to fast food places. Wendy's,
and this is personally not like top 5. Oh, this like McDonald's makes $1 billion, so they're number 1.
Okay, so Wendy's.
Wendy's. Okay.
Wendy's. I'm gonna put Subway in there.
Subway.
It's a little controversial.
Shout out to Jared. No, right?
No, we don't shout him out.
Okay, sorry. No. He did something bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was like child porn.
Oh shit. Okay.
No shout out.
Fuck.
You might have to bleep that out.
Yeah. I forgot.
So okay, Wendy's, Subway. I'm gonna go with chopped leaf.
Oh,
love that.
Why'd you point at me when you did that? Like,
because you introduced me to chopped leaf.
Because mom and Papa introduced you to it.
Yeah, they did. Actually, yeah, they did. Yeah.
I'm gonna say McDonald's. I think.
Is that your number 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chopped leaf, eh? Wow.
Yeah, I love that sandwich.
Yeah, okay.
That spicy chicken sandwich. It's so delicious.
Interesting.
And mucho burrito.
Yeah.
Mucho.
Those are my top 5.
Not bad.
Wait. Oh, fuck.
Like
I know. This is so hard.
One. I love Thai Express too.
Oh.
Pad Thai.
Okay, well, we're not doing top 6, so.
Dumb.
Sorry about that.
No top 6 here.
This is manipulation.
Is it my turn or?
Okay.
Is
is that you're gonna lock in those top 5?
Yeah.
Because you can't change that now for the next like 10-15 years. That's it.
Oh, does she have to laminate that card?
Yeah.
You know what? No. Okay, I'll swap out.
Like you're on an island. This is the 5 things you can eat. That's it. Oh no, you're gonna like they're gonna give you an electric chair. You're gonna die.
And
you
have
have 5 days.
Have one thing from each place. Okay.
Yeah, 5 days.
Okay, we'll remove. I'll remove McDonald's.
Okay, but can I just say, if I'm for some reason in life I find myself sitting on the electric chair, and I can eat something every day, like it's not fair. I'm about to die, and I can only eat fast food places.
Yeah, that's the rules.
Top 5. It's just like think about it, like you're not like you don't you get 5
so that was
and then
I'm just saying.
It's just a prompt.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
just a prompt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it my turn now or
get in? It's your turn.
Okay. This is really difficult, and I was trying not to do this while you were going, but I should have because I don't know. Like I don't like fast food anymore. So like, what did I like? I liked oh my god, like maybe McDonald's was in there. The cheeseburgers without the meat.
You would still eat McDonald's today if we went there. So
McDonald's, Subway. I'll put Subway in there for sure.
That is classic.
You know, I haven't had this in a long time, but I really love Chachi's.
Oh, Chachi's is good.
Right? There's this one sandwich there that was so good. Chachi's is there.
Chachi's is like in the mall though. It's so weird to call it fast food.
So is Thai. Kind of so is Thai Express is in the mall too.
McDonald's is in Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I have 2 more. Oh my god. 2 more. I'm gonna have to say KFC. But like in the last little while, KFC has lost it. Something's changed. I don't know if it's the way they're making the food, but definitely KFC.
But like, what do you get from KFC though? Is it the chicken or is it like a chicken burger?
The 2-piece meal. The chicken, 2-piece chicken.
KFC's chicken's garbage. You have to get
the burger.
You have to get the burgers from there. Yeah.
Okay.
The zinger.
No, the big crunch. The big crunch.
Honestly, I feel like I'm gonna say Wendy's too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy's.
I'm just gonna also say like I'm not entirely excited about my choices. I feel like I'm missing something out there that I'm like, oh yeah, what about this? So, but I'll lock it in.
It's locked in.
Locked in.
So that's what you're getting before they kill you.
Gumball. It's your turn.
My turn. Top 5 fast food places. Okay. So I guess McDonald's will have to be in there because it's not so much that it's like a favorite, but it's like a go-to because it's everywhere. It's easy accessible. And then it's just always good going down, you know?
Okay.
Why are you so intense about it?
Yeah, he's like, for anyone that can't see this man right now, he's staring into my eyes.
And I had to witness it. It was really weird.
Talking about how good McDonald's goes down.
I'm going to go with Subway too. Subway has to be in there just because we eat it.
Subway is so good as a hangover meal.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
So good when you're hungover.
Samosas and Diet Coke. Which, by the way, I'm still mad at you for.
McDonald's, Subway.
McDonald's, Subway.
I might have to go with Sonic's because when me and Nana had Sonic's, the one time, it was like one of the best fucking fast food burgers I've ever had in my life.
We never counted pizza. We never said pizza.
But pizza is like, unless
Isn't that fast food?
But don't you have to wait for it?
Delivery or like...
that doesn't count. I see. Okay.
You can't, Okay. If we do top 5 foods like ever, we're doing fast food.
Okay.
Right?
Fair.
Should have a drive-through really, but like...
So what do you got? McDonald's, Subway, and Sonic?
Sonic's.
Okay.
Yeah. McDonald's. And it's like... It's really hard to like... I love the flamethrower from Dairy Queen so much. It's so good. Queen. But it's not enough to say that Dairy Queen's in there, you know what I'm saying?
Right. What about A&W or like Burger King?
Burger King's really good.
Yeah. I've never had Burger King.
I'll put Burger King in there, yeah. Burger King's good fast food.
Don't you like love Five Guys? Or
Five Guys is amazing.
Or that other one.
It's like tough.
What's the one that when we were in the Disneyland park, Carl's Jr., don't you love that?
I did really like Carl's Jr., but they're in Canada. It's
well, Sonic's is only in the States too.
Yeah, no,
but it's on his list.
But Carl's Jr. is gross in Canada.
So you could say Carl's Jr. US.
Jack in the Box is good too.
Oh, okay, we're going on some tangents.
On the drive home today, you know that you're going to be hitting up a fast food.
What about Shake Shack, Nana?
No, my mom's.
Nana, you never did Shake Shack.
Oh yeah, Shake Shack was awesome. I was really sad during our trip to LA that we didn't go to Shake Shack.
Aww.
McDonald's, Subway, Sonic's, Shake Shack.
I thought you said Burger King was in there.
Burger King.
Okay.
Burger King.
Lockdown.
Fast food. Should we just do another one for food? All food?
No. Maybe
save it for next time.
Yeah, save it for next episode.
I do like the other day that you just randomly texted us top 5 things to buy from Costco. That was a really good one. And I was the only one that answered.
Top 5 Kirkland products.
I thought my responses were so good.
We can use that for another one. Segment.
Except you spelled Prosecco wrong. Prosecco.
Per.
Evita.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining me. Is this where I put my music now, or do I say thank you and then put my music?
I would say thank you, then put your music.
And I also, can you help me drop what I'm supposed to say? Because you always say it better, like in terms of my, where can people, my plug. What's my plug now?
You can reach Karen.
Oh my goodness. I thought that was like legit, like from the internet right there or something.
I love it.
You can reach Kieran at MFU Podcast on Instagram. We're also online at www.mfupodcast.com.
That was so well done.
You can also reach Cam's Corner during Karen's podcast, MFU.
Okay.
There's a segment dedicated to Cam. He's in the corner.
Not in the closet.
At Cam's Corner on Instagram.
Okay, so I just want to say thank you for this. I also want to say, Cam, you distracted me. Now I forgot.
I didn't even do anything.
I also want to say that I hope that people subscribe. This is my first episode. This was just a little get to know me. Welcome. But I also want to ask all of you, what are some things that have been on your mind that you would like to talk about? Because I'm in a place where I'm ready to talk after a few years. I'm imagining all of you are in a place where you have things on your mind too. So reach out to me and on all the places that Nana has just listed, and tell me what topics you're interested in. What would make this show better. I think that as a community, we'll thrive together if we can grow together. So I really hope that you join me, because in the end, it's also going to help me learn. So together we can build this community, so we can go to places like the National and not be turned away. So thank you.